U7 Buy provides the most convenient, fastest, and safest way to upgrade your team with numerous positive reviews and verified by top creators from different countries with 24/7 online customer support. Now you can enjoy an extra free coins for every order. Don't miss the opportunity for up to 4 million free coins. Use my code Inception for another 8% off. Okay guys, so we're going to be talking about the new evolution. This one is going to be called the first Shapeshifter. We would do one for the center back one, but guys, that's like looking into the future type deal. And like, it's kind of cringe for me to create content like that if I don't know where it's heading towards. Like, that's why with evolutions like that, they want you to go more in the sentimental route to upgrade a lot of your cards. That's kind of how it is, right? It is one that's like a paid evolution as well. If you guys want me to go like in depth with it, just let me know, but we'll see. We'll see if we end up checking it out, right? But the first one that we're going to be checking out is going to be the new evolution for Shapeshifter. It's called the first Shapeshifter. Born to defend but rarely stayed back. Curls flew forward. Chaos trailed behind. Now leading the line as the first to shapeshift in style who turns tackles into tap-ins, right? So from what I'm seeing with this one, from some of the choices that are trending up top, this is something that's more of a concept for an evolution, right? Because for some of this, you're giving a card a finesse shot plus, depending on who you choose, right? You're giving cards a technical plus, you're giving a card a quick step plus, then you got the pinged pass, a press proven, a trivella, a trickster, bunch of things in that area, right? So it's really, really formatted for, again, a concept within your team to use him in that sort of specific position, right? So I'll show you some examples, right? If you go to the main page here and you see a card like Theo Hernandez, it doesn't make sense to do a card like this unless, of course, you're doing it for the concept of him being an actual attacker, right? Because the whole thing with this is them providing the striker advance forward plus plus. So with a card like this, you would probably go down the route of, I don't know, potentially giving him like either like a marksman or an engine chemistry style, and then you would use him in the attacking area because that striker plus plus for him is like the main thing. But this doesn't really make a lot of sense. You can see here, always want to run down the line and score a finesse shot with my fullback, cheers EA, right? So it's like, it doesn't really make sense for stuff like that. But there are some other cards here that end up trending that they get some really good improvements, even if you don't specifically use them in the striker position. They just get like really good base stuff improved, right? So Kamavinga is a pretty good example, right? Because this is a chain evolution from the Tea and Biscuits, right? So from Tea and Biscuits, you get Intercept Plus, Tiki Taka, and Incisive. And it's like, okay, that looks really nice. No problem there. The only thing that this card genuinely lacks is an Anticipate Plus, because the way that this card looks with how it's formatted, like, because you might be able to give Anticipate to this, like if you still had that, but I don't know if I'd really risk doing that, especially with the Hullet being a choice. But this genuinely now looks like a pretty good left back, right? Because you have Jockey, a block, a bruiser. You still have a press proven. You have a long ball with a pinged pass, with a tiki taka, with an incisive pass. So you have a card that actually passes the ball quite nicely in that area. But not only that, on a lengthy as well, right? Like if you give this card an anchor chemistry style, you have someone that has 99 acceleration, 99 sprint speed, really good defense, and really good physical, right? And he looks very well-rounded. So if you were to use him specifically in that way, he could be pretty cool. Could you potentially use him as a CDM as well? You could. I think I could deal with Anticipate not... No, I'm not going to say I'm not going to deal with Anticipate not being there, because Anticipate's important. I'm not going to say that it's not, because it is. Whether that's a base, whether that's a playstyle plus, this game is very meta nowadays. You know, I was using a guy's account today for the Ronaldo review, and he had a Doom Freeze. It's not this one, because I think he had one that has Anticipate Plus on it, which maybe it was this one that he evoed, I don't know. But that playstyle is like really crazy. But even still, as a fullback, like this still looks really good. Would you use this over like an Evo Theo Hernandez? Probably not. So like a good Evo Theo Hernandez is still an absolute monster, but again, the links are different. With this card, it's a Real Madrid French player, so he actually looks really nice. Like that's genuinely the only thing that he's really missing from being like an absolute monster, right? So he looks pretty cool in that regard, right? Like obviously they give him the striker position change, but this is not for a striker, right? You have options here where, I mean, you could potentially actually use it as a striker, you know, like this is a pretty good example of where you should probably head towards when it comes to an evolution like this, if you want to use them in that more like attacking sense, right? So here's an interesting one, just because what I'm thinking is like, obviously, if you were to use a 3-back formation, this would be really sick. That would be like the main thing here. But honestly, in the attacking positions, he doesn't necessarily look that bad, right? Like I think a card like this, if you were to give him probably like an engine chemistry style to improve dribbling even further, you have a 5-star, 4-star player who's left-footed on the left-hand side. This would definitely be more preferable for an actual left mid player, especially since he has the base intercept, the base anticipate, right? Because finesse shot, specifically left back position, that's the useless part. But in the left mid area, right, where he has a wide midfielder, if you were to use that, right, which, to be fair, I don't think that'd be like the main reason to use him. There is also the other option of using him as an advanced forward. Now, technically speaking, yes, you can use him as an advanced forward, but it's debatable how nicely he would be there, right? Like I think in the striker position, though, the role in itself to kind of move into the positions could be really cool for sure. And would it be nice to have defensive qualities up top in the attack as well? Yeah, because in this game, when you have players that don't have these defensive play styles, like even if you read the most obvious simple play up top, they need these play styles to be able to actually get those opportunities. And he actually has the defensive stats. So it's an interesting one. I think with a card like this, I would be more heavily invested if it was like a center mid maybe, but even still, again, this is like the concept that makes, I would say, like the most sense of what you should be looking into, right? João Neves is another pretty good example, but this is a card, tiki-taka, pings pass, press proven. Yeah, this one's funny because this one is like, if I were to use like a 3 midfield setup, like if I'm playing a 4-2-1-3, and he's like one of the 2 CDMs, but it would be strictly for like agile movements, getting to the positions whenever possible. Excuse me. But no intercept and no anticipate. I think a card like this, honestly, if he had a cam position change, it'd be crazy. But honestly, like even in the striker position, like, okay, you don't have a finesse or a driven, which, let's be real, is a really big deal. But it'd be really interesting to kind of go down this route to use like a card like João Neves as a striker, who's your build-up striker, right? Because in technicality, advanced forward doesn't necessarily always mean like, oh, I'm always going to attack a certain way. But yeah, there's that possibility. This would be a really crazy card if they gave him intercept and anticipate as a midfielder, because center mid-wise, he does have the playmaker plus, which a lot of people actually use in this game, so it's not necessarily bad in that sort of regard, right? Let's see some other choices here if there's like some trending cards. So Kamavinga is definitely a really top choice because he's a lengthy with an anchor chemistry style. Petit could be a good one too if he has that left back stuff with the base play styles because of tea and biscuits. Yeah, so again, it's funny because like cards like this, sure, you could technically use them as an attacker up top, but the way that they just look like cards that genuinely would play really well in the left back position, like as of right now. Because with Roberto Carlos, like this one has a huge rating on it, but that's like more for left mid. But the roles are kind of like weird. I mean, he looks really well rounded, which is really cool. I mean, I'm saying that, but I'm kind of being stupid at the same time because he has the base playstyles to still be able to play at left back, so it's not horrible. Like, I actually still think he performed pretty decently because they did give him some pretty significant improvements, especially in the pace department, because you don't have to give him a shadow, and you can give him an anchor, and they still did give him base playstyle. So honestly, like, maybe I'm being nitpicky because finesse shot, for me, it's just like, I'm looking at finesse shot, I'm like, that's pretty useless as a left back. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't really make sense to use that there unless you literally go for like a corner kick and then go for a finesse shot afterwards. But I'm not even kidding. It's better to go for a Trivela. But yeah, a card like this definitely looks like it makes sense. Technical relentless and a tiki-taka in the left back position, I'm not completely against that. This card you could potentially use as an actual CDM as well. He does have a press proven and stuff too. And honestly, he's a lengthy on an anchor, so he actually looks like a really good player. So tea and biscuits, this is the thing. Like, we did the review for that evolution, but this is clearly a chain evolution that improves the cards to be significantly better. But yeah, cards like this is what you should be looking into, right? So obviously, playstyle plus wise, Relentless is an amazing playstyle plus to work with when you have to utilize second man press. Like, a very good example of this is a Doomfreeze card, right? Like Doomfreeze. Oh, you know what? Now I'm thinking, what's Doomfreeze's rating? Oh, he probably gave Anticipate to the Doomfreeze instead. I just thought of this. He probably gave it to him instead. because Doomfreeze is one of the best right backs in the game, could be the best. I don't really try out like different ones that often. I would say like Lala and Doomfreeze are like really up there. Frimpong was great when he came out, but then like this card came out I think like a couple days after, like or like a week after, and I was like, even in the review I told people, I'm like, yeah, he's still a meta card. Like it's still gonna be him. But they format the card a certain way to be like a monster, to be honest. But Relentless, like I'm telling you guys, it's a very good playstyle, man. Very, very good playstyle. Very relevant playstyles on a card like this, right? But that's what I'm saying, right? Like this card still has intercept, anticipate, slide tackle. He doesn't have like a bruiser or anything like that, but he still looks really well formatted for that left back position as well. Or even CDM. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing to try out at CDM either, to be honest with you. This is where it gets a little weird, but at the same time, like you do get some pretty significant improvements. So I think with a card like Philip Lahm, this was a card that genuinely required this sort of upgrade with how he initially looks, because now it's like, okay, if I use this card in the CDM position, I have a card that can help me out in the build-up play because I have a pinged pass, I have a long ball plus, I have a press prim with the first touch, I have a regular intercept to work with an anticipate plus, blah, 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 right? Would he be a shorter player in that area? Yes. But at least if you were to use a card like this, let's say, for instance, on the left-hand side, right? And like a left CDM position with the holding plus plus. Holding plus plus, you'd be able to utilize a finesse shot with a card like this. So if you were to be on the left-hand side in that area, you can actually potentially score those opportunities. The other main thing here too would be the potential of someone actually enjoying the false back, which, to be fair, not a lot of people use, but it can be effective if given the right circumstances. The reason why people don't really use false back that much is because of people going for counterattacks with most of their formations that have like left wings or right wings, right? So when you look at stuff like that, it's a little bit more cooked to actually be able to block out those opportunities. But this is the thing that EA does nowadays, right? Like they pretty much kill off SBCs and make them kind of like whatever, so that they drop an evolution like this, and then you have to kind of actually spend more money to improve them, which is a cringe concept to me personally, but it is what it is. And he gets the good improvements, right? 5-star, 5-star. If you're a Bayern fan, this is a card that fits the meta criteria way more, right? Like you need these really crazy boosts to kind of play this game, and he receives it, right? Very, very important. Right back position, honestly, if you want to use that false back specifically, I wouldn't necessarily be against that. I think he actually doesn't look that poorly formatted for that specific role because you're involving him in the midfield setup. But yeah, I mean, he still has the regular play styles. He is a shorter player. I do prefer the taller, more physical, lengthy players like a Doomfreeze in that right back position. But they're two different types of cards depending on what you want to end up doing, because Lahm has like no physical capability. So for some people that could be a little bit of a turn off, and then for others it could be something that they don't really care too much about, right? It just depends on the person. But yeah. All right, so continuing on with the selections. Honestly, I'm not really against this if you go down the road of actually choosing like left backs, to be honest. Like foot.gg, man, I'm telling you, these guys, they understand. They're like, oh, if you give this play style, it doesn't really make sense, you know? Yeah, so that version of Theo Hernandez is the one that gives finesse shots. So on GG's, it actually makes way more sense because you could see here that you start to select the ones that actually make more sense for the meta. So this is the thing about doing these reviews, right? So it's like, look, ambidextrous or ambidextrous. First shapeshifters. A little bit of trouble there, huh? Anyways, yeah, no, I had a Theo that had an intercept on it. This is a very expensive card. Theo, I still think would be like really good, honestly. I think if you were to go down this route, it would still be a great card. But I had an Evo that had intercept plus on it. Whew. I think that's what you should really be looking into, to be honest. Do you have a regular intercept at least on any of these? I don't know how he got intercept on it. I don't know if it was like he adds it to the card or whatever it is, but yeah. Theo Hernandez, regularly speaking, still going to be a really nice card regardless, right? Like you can still go down that route and still get a really nice player. But I like what they do to these cards, right? Where it's like, again, with Petit, you can do the tea and biscuits, the first shapeshifter. You have good base playstyles in the left back position. Looks really solid there. Meta-wise, like it should work out really well, especially with that relentless. Like I'm really looking at that specific playstyle too, right? So really good in that regard too. Kamavinga as well, that makes sense. Mycon, that's a waste because of the finesse shot plus. Like I wouldn't really look into that as much. You get McKenny, 87. Doomfreeze. Doomfreeze. Has an intercept, no anticipate though. I mean, honestly, if you didn't do the team of the season SBC, you might be slow, to be honest. Roful with finesse shot. See, Roful with finesse shot's not as bad. Like, this actually makes more sense because she has like center mid capabilities. And then she also has, to be honest, like actual left wing capabilities too. No, she doesn't, because she doesn't have any roles. So yeah, mainly for center mid and striker. Striker for the concept of it, center mid for the play styles that she actually has. So if you were to give her like an anchor, you use her in that area, and she's like a well-rounded box to box, right? So Footjaw GG pretty accurate with that stuff there for sure. Captive V, ooh, oh, finesse shot. Yeah, finesse shot ruins it. Guerrero, because like guys, the whole concept of this, like you could do this, right? Like technically speaking, you could do this, and then I don't know if they'll do an evolution where they add something else to it, but that's just like for the concept of it, really. Meta wise though, Beasley actually might make sense. This is from the yeah, so quick step, rapid, and a finesse shot. Yeah, I mean, if you were to go down this route, this makes way more sense, at least. Because if I give this guy an anchor, or excuse me, a hawk, he has some defensive capabilities, and then he has the pace, the shooting, and the physical. It's like, yeah, the dribbling is not like super high, but like he still has a press proven. So like this is, the thing is that this one is really like good for 3-back formations, you know? That's the thing, right? With pass, finesse on a Florenzi, but Florenzi does have center mid. The center mid brings that up a little bit, especially with the intercept as well. Yeah, but those are the things that you should be looking out for, I would say, for the most part, when it comes to this evolution. Lom, yeah, Lom gets a good improvement. Kamavinga with a press proven plus. Pretty cool. So that's a direct upgrade for that card. Even this one doesn't look bad, eh? You give him the anchor, it still looks pretty decent, but definitely needs way more defensive playstyles. 100%. Finesse, jockey, deadball. That's a little bit of a weird one, I would say. A little bit of a weird one. A weirdo. A little bit of a weirdo. Excuse me. Zambrotta actually might be pretty good. Oh, you just get the shooting boost on him. No, but you get the pace boost. So is still a lengthy. Honestly, the ones that are trending on GG's is pretty accurate. I think Petit makes sense. Kamavinga, maybe not that version because he doesn't have defensive stuff. I mean, he can still be pretty good, obviously. Because a lot of people just want to have players that feel agile, that can pass the ball as one of the 2 CDMs for the most part. But I like this version. This version looks pretty cool. Mainly for like the left back position, potentially. Does he have Bruiser? He does have Bruiser. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like stuff like that could be really cool in that area. Fullback plus. Never mind. He has no rolls. Did the one I checked out on Footbin, did that one have rolls? Well, there you go. So it'd have to be mainly as a CDM than with the intercept plus. I mean, it's still pretty good though. Still pretty good. You get good bit of passing play styles, but it would be nice to have the anticipate on him for sure. Wouldn't be bad in that regard. These concept ones are the ones that look really good though. Look at this. Sentimental FC. This guy actually looks like a beast. And he has defensive stats with an anticipate as an attacker up top. Press proven, first touch onto a driven, quick step. This is a nice card on the attack. Does he have an inside forward plus? Of course you don't. It's mainly for a striker. But even if it's a striker, I'm not completely against that, to be honest. I'm not completely against that. That's the routes they want you to take though, man. The random sentimental ones look kind of crazy. Using a Davies up top would be interesting for sure. Finesse, technical, and a rapid on him. This looks like such a... This honestly looks like such a left mid. like 3 back formation type of evo. This one's not bad for left back. Are you lengthy? Yeah, he looks pretty good actually. Rapid whipped pass. You're not really going to use that. Well, it depends if that's like your sort of play style, but yeah, I mean that's the type of situation with this evolution. That's kind of like the stuff that you should be looking into the most. That's a really cool card design, by the way. That's how EA sells their product, to be honest. But yeah, some of these choices could definitely be really good depending on the types of players that you want to have in like specific positions. But yeah, we'll leave it there. I was gonna check out the other evolution, but it doesn't seem to be that crazy. Like it's just improvements that the average player base will look at and be like, oh, this looks really cool, because they look at base card stats more than like the play styles with the base card stats, you know. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.